Welcome back to my channel. And today I wanted to do another video on my series Rich Because I Am Alive. And today I wanted to go over the concept of appreciation and basically talk about some things that I love and that I appreciate. This morning was a pretty horrible morning for me. I cried most of the morning and I felt really low, but I am appreciative that I did wake up this morning. I think filming my testimony video was really hard on me, and I do want to emphasize for anyone of any situation who has shared their story, I really am so proud of you guys. And I think overall, being an author, being a writer, being an artist, it is really deeply brave to be able to tell your story, whether it's in the form of a book, a song, or let's say maybe in the form of a podcast. I think that people who choose to take that step and share their story, you guys are so brave, and I really love that for you guys. And I know for me personally, making a video about my testimony was really honestly difficult, but at the same time really freeing. And for me, I have no intentions of wanting to be famous or popular, anything of the sort. I just genuinely want a life that is peaceful and purposeful and filled with passion. That's what my goal is. And I really want to help people in the future. And I know for me, in terms of navigating life as well as friendships, I'm a person that is, I don't pretend to like people or be around people that I don't like. I know there's numerous people out there who are like that, and that's their choice completely. But if I don't like someone, or if something doesn't align with me, I'm always the kind of person to just cut that person off, or just kind of respectfully end my journey with the person, because I think it's really significant who you surround yourself with. And in terms of appreciation, for starters, I'm really glad that I woke up this morning. I'm glad that I can breathe and walk. I do want to do some research on some vitamins, because I have been feeling really fatigued lately, and feelings of fatigue, and I'm not necessarily sure why, because I have been actively trying to get an adequate amount of sleep, and I honestly think it's a little bit peculiar how I'm feeling. So I do want to make sure that my vitamin supplements are adequate, that I'm taking enough. But to start off, and I think I was trying to think of where I wanted to start. With writing, like what I was kind of talking about, I think it's so beautiful. And also making these videos, kind of talking about my thoughts, because I feel like I think friendships have different levels. And for me, I don't really have friends. The friends that I have are genuinely great, I will say, but they're kind of hangout friends. They're not necessarily people that I talk to every day or anything of that sort. Not to say that I don't appreciate them, because I do truly, but I don't have like everyday friends or friends like that. And I think with friendships in general and even people, I am very selective and very genuine with that. I don't believe in just being friends with everyone for the sake of it, and I don't truly like who they are or what they stand for or what they resonate with. And that's kind of that for me personally. I think with just my mind and how I think in general, it's really good for me to have an outlet to speak and to kind of continue what I was saying. I like creating these videos because I really don't have anyone to talk to or have intellectual conversations with in the form that I would like. So I love to write. I write every single day, but I don't really have anyone to have intellectual conversations with. And I also don't have any friends who love to read. I would really love to have a friend who loves to read. I would really love to join a book club if I could find one. If there's any online, I would encourage someone to please send them to me because I would really appreciate it. I love books. I love to write. I like to write songs. I like to write my feelings. I like to write everything. And I feel like that's one of my favorite things, and also just art as an entirety. And I just really deeply appreciate that those things exist. And as a person, I want to always hold myself accountable, always be willing to apologize when it is necessary. For me, I do have a bad habit of apologizing a bit too much, and I definitely think that it is because of some abuse that I have experienced. I think a lot of people that kind of understand that know what I'm talking about, but I know for me, and I know for me that really resonates with my heart. And I also wanted to kind of touch on, I know I'm talking about a lot of different subjects, but hopefully that's okay. But I did want to kind of touch bases with something that I forgot in my testimony too, because I was thinking about it, and something that a continuation of what I was talking about with my job. I worked at a kids and baby store, and my parents were divorced at a very young age. And there's a segment that I'm going to discuss, but I'm going to discuss it in my book. But some things did occur in my life to where with women particularly, that were pretty horrific, very horrific, and it did lead me to being afraid of having children, afraid of not being a good mother. I am a person that loves watching kid content. I love to cook, and I really like to learn about just being a woman and the job. Essentially, I'm not afraid of having kids anymore, and I'm actually really excited to be a mom when that journey starts for me. And I'm actually in an adolescent psychology class. I really love my professor. Every last professor that I've had in my life, honestly, throughout 0 to 19, I've actually loved every single teacher that I've had. And I really like professors that are challenging at times to a healthy degree, because it challenges my brain and my critical thinking. And I think I put it in my description, I am working towards becoming a psychiatrist and specializing in psychiatric nursing, because I know that I have the heart and the patience for it, and I know that I'm deeply open-minded, and I know that I truly want to support them. It's not about money for me, it's about truly helping them, like from the bottom of my heart. And I know in my heart that I don't judge anyone that is homeless or that has less or more, and I think that everyone, even celebrities, I think they're normal. Everyone's just a normal person. And I remember I was talking about this with a family member. I know I'm kind of yapping, but I don't really have anyone to talk to, so I'm just gonna talk to you guys, you know? So, I basically was talking to a family member, and what I mean by that is, like, I do have a chunk of family and a good family, and I do have 6 grandparents, and I do have socialization, but through the week, for most of the time, if it's not work related, I am alone. And work is work, obviously, and the communication at work is in a professional manner, and it's a bit different than just talking about kind of what I'm talking about, like my interests and things that have happened and experiences like that. So I did want to kind of interject and let that be known as well. And what was I going over? Yes, with I don't like how people slander celebrities so much, and how they hate so much, and even the videos that that even the videos with them quote unquote exposing people. And I feel like I don't like exposed culture. I think that when someone makes a mistake, the best thing to do is to send them information and hold them accountable in a way that is adequate and respectful, and that's intentional and purposeful for the purpose of them healing and becoming a better person. I don't think it's okay to send people really nasty messages and comments. I do know, I think I've said this in a couple of my videos, but I do know that it's completely okay to have an opinion. I'll give a few examples. If your hair is red and a couple people don't like that your hair is red, I don't necessarily think that's hating on a person, depending on how they say it. You know, some people may not like red hair or blue hair or even blonde hair or black hair. They may prefer their hair to be ginger, and I think that's fine. I think that's just having an opinion. It could be lash preferences, makeup preferences, shoe preferences, things of that nature. I'm not a sneakerhead, but I'm not going to put down someone who has like 50 pairs of Nike shoes, because I actually think the shoes are pretty cool, and I've said that to a lot of people that I've seen shoes like that with. But I think it's really cool, honestly, but it's not something that I would want to invest my money in. I would rather invest my money into making artwork and getting more journals to write, and maybe some digital cameras for photographing, for, you know, taking pictures of nature or things of that sort. I like to not necessarily spend a whole bunch of money on materialistic things. I like to invest my money into hobbies and trying new food and movies and experiences. That's what I like. And even with my hair, I don't like to spend a whole bunch of money on my hair. If you do that, that's perfectly fine. You're beautiful and you're so amazing and so cool, but that's just my personal preference. I feel like, and I will say this, with some people, and just kind of, I would say in terms of hygiene and care, because it's subjective, it depends on the person, but I would say that with that, it definitely just depends. And I think that if one day, if I if I like a hairstyle enough and I think that it's worth the price and it's reasonable for me and my budget, I think that is something that I would try. But I think overall, I think every lady is beautiful, and I really don't believe in ugliness. I think when I feel ugly, I'm projecting onto myself a societal standard. I think that's what occurs subconsciously when we call ourselves ugly. We are actually judging ourselves. And I feel that, especially with college, I do want to kind of go over a few of my favorite classes. I think that education is a privilege, and I genuinely love to learn. And ever since I was a little girl, I really enjoy reading and learning, and really learning about different cultures as well. I love the Japanese culture. I really do. I used to be able to say the numbers from 1 to 10, but I have to relearn. And I kind of just really love that. But to start off, every last psychology class that I've had, I really love, especially human growth and development and adolescent psychology. I'm in a program where I have to raise a virtual baby. I have 2, and I've learned so much about the process of things that occur in the woman's body and things that occur with the baby. I think that it's such a privilege, and it's so beautiful that at 19 I've been able to expand my knowledge of feminine care, what it means to take care of my body, and also with human growth and development, I learned so much from the birth to in the stages of emerging adulthood, and it was a really beautiful thing. And I also learned all of the stages of pregnancy. I learned about how just that whole field. When I was little, before I had my menstrual cycle, I actually was blessed to receive a book with information regarding self-examination, ways to prepare, ways to take care of your body, ways to basically be more knowledgeable about what's going on. And I really like that. But to kind of touch bases with some of the things that I was going over, I really appreciate things that are deeply expressive, and I'm not sure if I went over my example with what I was talking about a couple minutes ago, but with the whole thing about celebrities, I heard some people in my family, and it was about for 2 hours, they were just talking about celebrities and just talking about it and talking about it, and I was like, what an odd thing to do. An imperfect person judging another imperfect person. But in the way that they were doing it, I just thought it was really unnecessary to analyze and talk about someone that you don't necessarily care about, you're hating on, and instead of improving your life or doing things that make you happy, you are taking the time to dissect them and analyze them, but in a negative manner. I thought that was really sad and unproductive, and I did not like that, because in my mind, celebrities are just regular people. They truly are. And I think to idolize them or to hold them to an unrealistic standard, like they have to be perfect or we have to be perfect, because we all are human. And if some celebrities aren't human or clones or whatever you guys say, I mean, we're including them as well. People and extraterrestrial beings make mistakes depending on which one it is. And yeah, I feel that you can always start over and be a new person. I think the most beautiful thing is to evolve and expand the mind. I particularly love to read, and I also like to watch documentaries. I like to watch surgeries. I love to learn all the time. I love to learn all the time. And within my series, I kind of wanted to have a podcast feel. I kind of just wanted to feel really calm and interactive. And I do want to brainstorm and write down some topics because I know that I am kind of topic hopping right now. I do want to narrow down some thoughts in my head and make separate videos discussing separate topics and kind of make an outline and go over my opinions and kind of connect and put an emphasis on my opinions and my thoughts and things of that nature. But in terms of my life currently, I'm just really grateful that I'm able to get an education. I just really like to learn, and I think that if I kind of touched on this in one of my videos, if you don't take the college route, that's okay, but I think it's wrong to shame someone who truly loves college, or they find that that's a good route for them, because I don't like the whole term that college is useless, because I think if you take in the information and you make it applicable to your life in the physical world, I think that it is meaningful, and it is, especially with the relationships with professors. Sometimes you have the chance, I would say for me, with all of my professors, I learned something different that was amazing from every last one of my professors, male or lady. And it was just a really amazing thing, honestly. I think that with trade school and content creation and cosmetology and all those things, I think all of them are beautiful in their own way. And I think it's really good to pursue the thing that you truly want to pursue. I think a good thing to do is to take your parents and your role models to just kind of, when you're thinking about what you want to do, to take them out of the picture and look into your heart, and also think about, of course, it is important in society to think about, is this going to sustain your level of lifestyle that you want to live? And I put it that way because some people are okay with the modern life, and some people are wanting to live the lavish life. Maybe that could be in a expensive car or a certain lifestyle, but at the same time, some people really enjoy just living a mundane life, a simple life. And I know for me, I do want to continue to travel and experience new places, and I've went over this in a while. A lot of times I did not post on my channel for a long time, which is okay, but I did not. But I know for my 20s, I want to create videos for my whole 20s. I'm going to be 20 next year, and I'm not very sure what's going to happen, but I just try to appreciate every single day, because there was a time where, which is a part of my testimony, I was just not happy to wake up. It wasn't something that I thought of as a blessing or a privilege at one point, but now I do value that. And I kind of wanted to make this to chat. I'm not really sure if I'm going to make another one of these today. I may or may not, but I definitely will be making more of these in the future. And it feels really good to sometimes talk about your thoughts vocally, but also talking about your thoughts on paper. I think that life is just an experience. I don't think that life is a competition for me. Life is not a competition. And I know that what I want is peace. I really like that. I really love that. And I think it's beautiful to live a life full of tranquility and peace, love, and growth. I really do. I think as in things that I want, I love watching films. I love watching true crime. I love forensic science. If I was not studying psychology towards psychiatry and psychiatric nursing, I would definitely be leaning into neurology and neuroscience because I love the brain. I love brain studies. I love cognitive development. I love human growth and development, and I love learning about human interaction. And I love learning about different cultures. I know in sociology, I have been able to learn about areas that I was not necessarily educated about. I learned a lot about it, and I thought that was really nice. And I think something that I would love to do is to do, what is it called? Study abroad. I'm not sure if that's going to happen for me, but I would love that. I don't know if that requires you writing a paper or something, but I would genuinely love every single second of that. I think that would be so beautiful and engaging and amazing. And you know, one of the things that my American literature professor, she had us do a video essay, and I enjoyed doing it. I scored a 90 on it, and I really loved creating the video. I put a lot into it. While I went on a mini road trip and I hung out with some buds over the weekend. I did prioritize. I did my outline for the video, and I did complete everything in a really well and good span of time, and things were really great, and I did really well. I was pretty nervous, and I just really love her class. I really loved every English class that I've been in. Fahrenheit 451. That just came to mind. One of the books, I think every book that I've read and every film, I think I've taken something away from it. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And I think as a director, as a writer, as a creator, someone with a deep creative mind, I think it's a really beautiful thing to see people's artwork in such a raw form. And I think I really respect artists who are authentically themselves. I don't want to live to chase an image or pretend to be someone I'm not. So I'm never, ever, ever going to live that way. And I also know that I would rather live a life of just a simple life. I would choose a simple life over a life of humiliation rituals and not doing what aligns with my heart, and honestly things that I feel that kind of relate to lowering your self-worth or lowering your standards. I just would not choose that life, and I think that in my opinion, I think that it's better to just live a normal life than live a life of pain and live a life chasing things that don't matter. But as well as that, I do know that some people are deeply, deeply, deeply shallow. And I never want to be that way. I'm very emotional. I feel emotions very deeply. But I think that whether I have realized it or not, I do have a lot of resilience. And I think that regulating your emotions in a healthy manner is really important. And I know for me, like, if I react in a way that I felt like wasn't the best way to react, I'll think about that the night of. I'll pray about it and I'll say to myself, to the other person, what can I do to make this better? And I think I want to emphasize something. People who don't respect your boundaries, or don't respect the things that you love or the things that make you uncomfortable, they don't like you. They don't respect you. I know for me, when I have met people, or just people in my life, it takes one time for me. They express to me, I'll give you guys an example. Someone that a family member had expressed to me, they did not like how I hung up the phone sometimes. Guess what happened? I stopped getting off the phone the way that they did not like it. And it could be something as simple as, I don't like you eating food in my car. I would never bring food in their car again. It's just simple things like that. Let's say they could be in the bathroom. They could be in their room. They don't like when people knock a certain way. I would never knock that way again. People make mistakes. People fall short, and that is okay. But I promise you, someone who loves you, they become extremely mindful of what you do and don't like. They do. And I would just encourage people to make a gratitude list. I would encourage to make a gratitude list and write the things that make you feel motivated or happy, because in your darkest times, it can't help. Yeah. I'm not really particularly sure what I want to put for the cover of this. I think I want to do something Death Note related. I really love Death Note. I really love anime. And I'm sorry that my lips are kind of dry. I did put on some gloss, but sorry about that, guys. Really, I apologize about that. But with that being said, I think gratitude and appreciating where you are in the moment of where you are, it's kind of cohesive with mindfulness, to appreciate where you are without looking forward or back, to be content even if you're making little progress, to be content even if you are not in the place where you would like to be content in the place where you maybe are sitting in at the moment, to be deeply grateful of what you have at the time. I think that if you don't appreciate what you have when you do have it, you won't be able to appreciate the things fully when you get the next thing that you want. Yeah. But guys, I think I'm going to leave the video here. I'm going to brainstorm on some one-on-one subjects that I can do little episodes on. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. And I hope that you guys truly have a good day. I think I'm going to do a video on maybe some unpopular opinions. Maybe. But I'm definitely going to brainstorm some ideas of some things that I would like to talk about. And I am working on my 4 books currently. And even if no one reads them, that's okay. That's not why I'm making it. I'm making it because it's something that genuinely makes me happy. I think for all people creating something or working on a project, make sure that you're doing it because you love it. Not for fame or necessarily success or instant gratification. I would suggest that you do it because you genuinely love it and it makes you feel positive, motivated, and it makes you feel like you are being purposeful. It makes you feel like you have purpose. And I would suggest to people out there, to get hobbies and to find some things that you like, because it will make life enjoyable for you even when you are going through really hard things. And my last thing that I would encourage is that, for one, in my career, I really hope that I continue to deeply grow as a person so that I have the stamina and the education and the requirements and the things that I need to be able to provide care and adequate help to other people. And I also hope that people that are watching this succeed in whatever they want to succeed in, and to know that even if you fail in something, that's okay because you tried. Some people don't try. Trying means something, I promise. So I will see you guys in the next video. And I am, like I was saying, I am gonna be sure to brainstorm some ideas of more videos that I would like to make. I know for sure that I would love to do a video on why I love the Twilight films and some other films in my life that really touched my heart. But everyone in my life and just existing, I'm really grateful for that. And I would suggest everyone to continue to be your authentic self. And if you're doing something or pretending to be someone you are not, I would encourage you to stop today. And to take the mask off and to be yourself. So I hope you guys have a great day or night, or whenever you guys see this video, whoever sees it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I will be making more videos very, very soon. And bye, guys.